How do you stand out in the crowd? What sets you apart? And what are you doing different? Well, one of the biggest things you can do to set yourself apart is to have self discipline. We've discussed this before. A lot of barbers come into the industry or decide to become barbers because they want to avoid responsibility. They want to avoid accountability. And any of your veteran barbers will tell you that is the biggest thing from the truth. You are not only accountable to yourself, you're accountable to your clients, you're accountable to your community. You provide a service that is a determining factor in people's overall outer image. How they look can be made or broken by your hairstyle. That's how they look. So you have to really be aware of that, right? Make no mistake in what you're doing. Like, this is important. You have taken on an important role in what you do. And it's not a slight to anyone, but if you lack self-discipline, if you lack control of oneself, how can you control hair, your clientele? And I'm not talking about controlling them in a robotic manner. What I'm saying is if the way that you live, maintain, and hold yourself isn't with a level of self-discipline, it's every space that you lack self-discipline is going to be heightened within a business. What does that mean? Well, if you have poor spending habits, right? You have poor spending habits. Guess what? Becoming a barber isn't going to help your poor spending habits. Honestly, it's probably going to ramp them up. Why? Because you're making money every day. And if you got poor spending habits, the only thing you're thinking about is getting more money, not being more structured. So you're probably walking around with your money in hand, your cash in hand. And so with your cash in hand, you make these choices. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Really don't know what to tell you. But I promise you, if you're a barber, you have poor spending habits, hadn't improved much, right? And to take a quote from a show called The Ozark, if you walk around with all that money and the government doesn't know you have that money, you can make $1 million a year, but you're not going to be able to finance or do anything. So what are you going to have? Grocery money. Sure, you can buy some groceries, maybe, take a trip or something like that. But to do anything of significance, no, you're not going to be able to buy a house. If you got your $1 million in cash sitting in your house, you never told the government you had it. Because if you take that money and you go, most people are going to freak that you have that much money to go buy something. Put it in the bank. File your taxes. Get a CPA to help you be accountable for what you're doing so you can file your taxes the proper way. You can get the benefits that you need. Okay? Like, just, that's just it. That's it. So again, you know, you want to set yourself apart, you want to level up, you need to have some self-discipline. You need to make the right choices. If you don't know what the right choices are, I'm going to tell you now, if you get some anxiety, you start sweating and everything like that when you go to, especially in dealing with money, it's probably not the right choice. It's just, and that's not financial advice. I'm just telling you from a person who's been there, from a person who has made poor financial choices. You know when a decision is wrong. You've been on this earth long enough to know right from wrong. Just it is what it is. So, yeah. Get some self-discipline in your life. Make better choices. If you decided you're going to, I'm here and, however it may be, like if you are a beginning barber, if you're really just a barber in general, if you're working in a shop and the shop opens at 10 and okay, I got my free reign, I can do whatever. If the shop opens at 9, be there at 9. Preferably be there at 8:45. Because I was raised that on time is late and 15 minutes prior is on time. I can't argue with it. Can't argue with it. You make a lot of things that you can do. All right. It's just a lot. But, the self-discipline, making the right choices, making the right moves, like that's important. And if you don't know the right moves to make, find a mentor. Where do we find mentors? If there's not one in your city, then hey, go find somebody that is right. Go find one on social media that's talking about the right things. And you don't always need a mentor within the barber industry. Just get a business mentor, someone who is running their own business. People talk about it over and over and over and over again. Oh, one day I'll start my own business. So do it. You became an independent barber. You started your own business. So now, but probably because you didn't take the time to learn, you probably want to learn about business. Just a thought. Probably want to learn about business. Why? Because you're running a business. Either way, guys, my focus for today was about self-discipline and really, really learning. Like, you got to be so self-disciplined. So you got to be to the point that you're so self-disciplined that it doesn't matter whether you want to do it or not. You do it. It needs to be done. Right? It doesn't matter. You just make it happen. Period. All right? So again, not gonna hold you guys or anything like that, but just keep that in mind. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll catch you tomorrow for another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast. Thank you for tuning in.